So why don't you kick things off and tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Well, hi, my name is Ariel. I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I work in the aerospace industry in sales. And as Cassandra said, I work from home maybe like 3 or 4 days a week most of the time. And I do travel for work. And sometimes things can, kind of come up last minute. And so it was, I kind of also found out about this service through one of these a webinar series that you held last summer.
Great. Awesome. Okay. So if you were to sum up in one word your style pre NLW to your style post NLW, what would those words be?
Yeah, I was thinking before of the word like disjointed or piecemeal, and now afterwards I think it's versatile would be how I describe it.
Amazing. And can you expand on that? Why the big difference in those two words?
Yeah, I think that um, like you've been talking about today, when COVID happened, I was entirely working from home. And I work in an industry where many people do join Zoom calls in sweatshirts, and that's perfectly fine. Um, like it would be fine for me to wear sweats when I work from home too. But then with going into the office every once in a while and having in person events, I was realizing that I just wasn't feeling like I was putting my best foot forward, and I wasn't feeling confident in myself and how I was presenting myself. My wardrobe, because I hadn't had a lot of motivation to update it, was just feeling like, okay, I'll pick up a piece here and a piece there. And as you and I had talked about, I've had very like specific preferences around getting clothes that are produced sustainably and that are using fair trade, like fair wages and like ethical working conditions for the clothing factories. And so that really narrowed down. I thought it was really limiting me. But then after working together, I learned about a lot of new brands that hold themselves to a higher standard than the fast fashion industry, which I do not really purchase any items at all from. So it really opened up a lot more options for me to shop from.
Yeah, that is so great. And so when you think about, so I remember working with you, and one of the things that came up were work events. And you were like, I work with stylish women and I want to feel stylish too and put together and all the things. Talk to me about what it was like pre NLW to dress for those events versus post NLW.
Yeah, I would put pieces together based on just what I had in my wardrobe, and I just never felt very current because I was honestly getting a lot of my pieces from the thrift store because that was like, okay, well, this is this is secondhand, or like this feels like ethical that I'm getting shopping secondhand, but I didn't feel like the styles were really current, or it would be really hard to find pieces that I felt like really captured my style. And then, so then after working with you, it is so much easier to just reach into my closet and pick out an outfit and off to work. I'm not really a morning person either. So that really helps getting ready in the morning if I'm going to go into the office. And then I feel like it's versatile because I can drop and down depending on the occasion. It's like swapping out a blazer for a sweater or something like that, or switching trousers that read in different ways. Felt like before I was kind of cosplaying corporate. Like
Mm.
I felt like I was kind of like cosplaying what a corporate wardrobe was supposed to look like. Because I wasn't seeing a whole lot of um like women my age that were encapsulating like a style that really resonated with me. Like
Mhm.
I don't really want to personally I don't wear a lot of matching like I always just thought that like matching pantsuits were just like you were supposed to wear, or it was just jeans. Like there was nothing in between those shows where I would work, where I would see anything besides like jeans and a t-shirt, more options to work with.
Yeah, amazing. And that is so powerful what you shared. You don't want to feel like you're wearing a costume or cosplaying corporate or anything. You want to feel like you in your work style, your weekend style, and all this stuff. One of the things that stood out to me during our time together was you were like a sponge and you were ready for all the style knowledge too. You're like, talk to me about outfit formulas. You started putting together outfits and you became very good at them too. So, would you say, how do you feel now creating outfits for work, weekends, etc.?
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Well, I was thinking about this working with you as an opportunity to learn and to kind of so yeah, I totally was excited about the opportunity of working with an expert and working with someone who lives and breathes fashion. And
Mhm.
so for me, it was such an opportunity to get a pulse on what's current and to get the different techniques that you talked about different outfit formulas or just like shop learn one of my favorite things that we covered was how to shop on the RealReal, like how to shop online consignment, so that I can still fulfill that passion of shopping secondhand, but I can shop brand. I was with some of the pieces that we got while working with you of just the quality of the pieces and just some of them were brand new, never worn it. I was just shocked.
So, can you continue to expand on the real real? Because I was just telling everyone how you got really good at it, and we were sending links back and forth, etc.
Yeah. Um I once we had a good idea of what brands and what brands would be a good fit, I started just looking at that brand. I would look at that brand in around the sizes I thought might work on the Real Real. And it was a lot of buying and returning, which
Yeah,
I learned a lot about in the process of working
yeah,
with you. And I really lucked out on I'm as you can tell I'm also like I love a good deal. And but I was actually getting pieces of like 100% silk trench coat from Koyana, a Veronica beard jacket that retails for $600 for 200 something, and they were just in really beautiful condition, and the way that the fabric feels and the way that it looks, it just um to me, like I can tell a substantial and like can tell a big difference. And again, some of these items, I was shocked at. They were just no use. Like these items hadn't
mm,
been used. Many of them. Um,
yeah.
and other ones, I we went back and forth a lot about a winter coat. So
Mhm.
that's an ongoing. It's an ongoing journey for me. I'm very particular. So that's me. But I had a lot of fun with that. I did actually, after we worked together, I went on ThredUp and I searched Reformation and I searched a type of top that I was looking for. And I did find some pieces that I really liked. So I did like the through the skills that I learned from you, I learned how to use the filters on those
Yeah,
sites. And even like brands like Reformation are on ThredUp. And things like using shopping extensions was something that I
yeah.
wasn't as tuned into. And so like I think that a big barrier for me was thinking like, oh my gosh, I've never spent this much on clothing in my whole
Mm,
life. This is really scary. And that was kind of one of the mindset things that I had to push through and work through throughout the process of realizing like this is actually like clothing, good quality clothing actually costs money is a lesson that I had to learn. And that was important for me to realize, like, not only like I that also, yes, I do deserve to own this. And yes, I can afford this thing. And it made me very grateful for all the hard work that I put in my career to be in the place where like that was something that I could do and give to myself, and that I know that these pieces are going to last for a very long time, and even it might even be to the point where if I decide that I don't want an item, that I could actually consign it back to the RealReal and not just put it back into a clothing cycle where you where like the as we both know, Goodwills are really inundated with people's clothing, and most of a lot of it is fast fashion. So I didn't want to contribute to that cycle anymore.
Yeah. And I think what I'm hearing from you is you got the strategies, you did the mindset work, you got the education, and now how is it for you to use your closet, wear it, live in it every day? How would you
Mhm.
describe getting dressed and how you feel in your clothing?
I'm having so much more fun, and it really helped to spark, and like being a sponge off of you too during the process. And like, I love that you make yourself so available by email, like the whole process, because I did have really nuanced questions to ask about, and I just was curious, like, well, why don't you like pockets on button ups? Like, it was like that was a
Is
really
that seared in your brain now?
yeah. Yeah, like, that was just, like I like, that really stuck out to me. And but I'm having so much more fun, and it actually sparked, yeah, that, like, re-interest in style, where I've had so many interesting conversations with people who work at retail stores in the process of doing the process with you, or I've had interesting conversations with friends about it. Um, I notice what other people wear a lot more, and it's actually inspired me to delve a little bit more into like how like my appearance in other ways, like just try like realizing like, oh, I can just try things out and just see it like that having more of like a curiosity and more of like a play mindset to it instead of oh my gosh, if I buy this pair of pants and I don't what if I buy this pair of pants and I spend all this money and I don't like it? Now I know that okay, I've like tried these out. They're very comfortable. That was a huge thing for me. Like for example, after we worked together, I also got this necklace from the Real Real,
Oh, uh-huh.
and I was amazed that it was, really nice Missouri jewelry that makes and it was like a style that I really liked because I realized like, oh, I want to try stacking necklaces. Maybe
Yeah.
this is something that I could just try out and play with and just feel not feeling like uh so limited in
Yeah.
like in my mindset and how I
Mhm.
approach things.
Yeah, it really sounds like you went from a scarcity to abundant mindset with your style, which is incredible because now you can start to have fun with your style and you are having fun with your style. So, and then you had never worked with a stylist before, right? And so, talk to those who are watching what would you say to them about taking the leap and working with a stylist?
I would say that yeah, I definitely felt nervous signing up of like, is this act like, oh, does someone like me actually sign up for this? Like, I'm not like a
Mm,
super CEO. I'm not, and I'm not even like a manager of people. So I think I was really pitting a lot of comparisons of like what I do with like the deserving aspect of it.
mhm.
And so that like I it was a really interesting like I kind of like there was like a big growth process I think the whole time and like
Mm.
learning also make like there's a lot of decisions in the process. So I think
Yep.
prepare yourself for a lot of returns and
Mhm.
being okay with like doing a lot of returns, being okay with having a lot of product at your
Yep.
house that is gonna happen fast and furious, and that definitely, like, I got into, like, a bit of an overwhelmed place with how much
Yeah.
stuff was at my place, and also, I understand now why it has to be like that. I understand now that you why you have to order everything at once.
Yeah.
I never would have done that on my own, ever. Like, it
Yeah.
was just, like and so many things that like so many pieces that I would not have chosen on my own. But again, with like the play aspect, thinking about it more like a thing, a game of dress up of like, okay, I'm trying on this beautiful dress, but the neckline is really itchy. Actually, I will never wear this.
Yep.
Or realizing, oh, you know what? There is so much fabric going on this. Is this fixable with a tailor? Do I like this enough to get it? Like, do I like this enough to like take in the fabric, or do we just need to let it go? And I loved having someone to just like help make these endless decisions and to narrow down from this massive world of retail that I still feel like I'm just dipping my toe into to like curate. The curation was
Yeah.
super important. Um,
Yeah.
so that those were some really big things that came up. And also realizing that like it is okay to change your style as time goes on. Um, and that I think that what I ended up with is going to be so much more flexible as like maybe it like it could support me through job changes, it could support me through lifestyle changes. A lot of the things honestly were like really flexible in sizing too that we
Yeah.
found. Like nothing felt like I just like a lot of it was again to the comfort thing. Like it was really well suit like everything we found is like realistic for my lifestyle. Like to that like an anecdote to that point, I went into an Anthropology recently. I think we might have talked about this, that I went to the sales set. I noticed finally I like I go into stores like and see things much differently now. And I
Yep.
looked at an Anthropology and I was walking through the store and I realized like, oh, 90% of the clothes in here to me for me in my lifestyle, this is an aspirational lifestyle. This is not realistic. Most of these pieces are not realistic for how I live my life. And then I
Mhm.
noticed the sales section taking up, I don't know, a very large portion of the store, and realize like, oh, okay, this is not for a lot of people. And therefore but this is why there is a very large sales section. And
Yeah.
looking at what was in the sales section, I also thought, okay, none of this is really realistic for what I do. So that's great. Now I don't have to sweat it and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything.
Yeah, and you've become so much more decisive. So you're more decisive, you're more abundant, you can have fun with your style, and you feel good every day and what you're it's like it's actually physically comfortable for you,
Yeah.
which is important, you know? And so it sounds like you're really enjoying your wardrobe, and I'm so happy to hear that. So, so happy.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much for sharing your story. I will email you after,
Yeah.
but thank you so much for being here tonight, especially on a Friday night, too. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.